Been ENM with my 36M wife, 40F, for over a decade. We've had our ups and downs, but generally it's been great. We have our rules, the most fundamental one being that even in the context of ENM, we would always operate on a bedrock foundation of mutual respect for each other and each other's partners. We never got hung up on the not in our bed nonsense. If my wife has a date, I'd rather she be in her own space where she feels safe and in control, and where she knows I have access in case anything goes wrong. We both take partners back to our home regularly. We have no kids, so there's no problem there. We had agreed that if one of us gets home and the other is there with a partner, then we don't disturb the date and just wait until it's over. We've also always gotten off on listening in on each other when this happens, which anyone we bring back home is made fully aware of. Usually we all have a drink together afterwards. I got to my house and she was there with her longest term partner, who has been in our lives for about 6 years at this point. They didn't know I was in the house and I started listening from the landing. They were talking about me in an incredibly humiliating way. He would give her prompts, asking her questions about how pathetic and useless I am, and she would agree about how I can't F and I'm a crap husband, and she would agree and pile on with name calling and degrading comments about me. For what it's worth, I know it's part of a power/humiliation dynamic, but I don't care. I was effing furious. It's not an ego thing. I know I'm a good attentive husband, and if I can allow myself a moment of conceit, I'm a pretty damn good lay as well. I would not ever tolerate any partner of mine saying a bad word about my wife, and I would D before I participate in anything that humiliates her, even if she's not there. At no point in our ENM journey did I consent to become the object of my wife's derision and disrespect when she's on a date, especially with her closest and longest running partner. I walked into the bedroom, big no, and told him to get the F out. My wife was livid and said no, he's not going anywhere, but I put my foot down and kicked him out of the house. We had a massive fight. She told me I was being a huge idiot. I told her she doesn't respect me, and some harsh words were said from both sides. Ali, that was Tuesday night and we haven't really spoken since. I certainly won't be the first to make contact, and she's been staying at his place all week, which is a major violation of our ground rules, but I also broke them by kicking him out. For 13 years I've worshipped the ground she walks on, and I refuse to accept the way they talk about me, even in the heat of the moment. It's not right and I won't stand for it. It's really put the future of our marriage into question, because I won't move forward with him still in the picture, and that will cause a volcanic amount of friction. She really likes him and has known him for almost half the time she's known me. It would severely disrupt our system and I know she would resent me for it, but I also know I will resent her if he stays. I feel steadfast in this, but I'd appreciate a sanity check before I make any drastic moves. Update 1. My wife came home last night and we had a very long and incredibly difficult conversation. She texted me yesterday and asked if it was okay with me if she came home after work. I said it's her home too and that I've been waiting for her for 3 days. There's no way I could go through everything that was said, so I'll just summarize what I feel were my biggest takeaways. Basically, there was some good and some bad, and we're taking baby steps on crackling ice. As soon as she walked in the door and saw me, she broke down and started apologizing. For what they said, for what she said afterwards, and for leaving, all of it. The crap talk about me has been going on for nearly 2 years. Started around the time COVID lockdowns were relaxing so we could see FWB again. She had told him she'd missed him during the first time they met back up. He told her yeah, because all she's had in lockdown is me, and it escalated from there. They don't do it regularly, just from time to time, and that she was mortified I had heard it. She said she never means any of that stuff, but it turns him on and the ass is better as a result. Dude has his own major insecurities apparently, and she had taken it upon herself to make him feel more like a man, and she never thought I'd ever hear or be hurt by it. The way she phrased it was that when they crap talk like that, it pretty much tends to be around stuff that he doesn't feel he measures up about, and she always knows it's false and has never spoken a bad word about me outside that headspace. Her initial burst of anger when I barged in the bedroom, she says, came from a place of extreme embarrassment and shame. I should note that while we do get off on listening, we never watch each other. We've tried a few times, but there's something about the visual that rubbed us both the wrong way, so we stopped. So for her, when I walked in, it was kind of like a parent busting in on you crapping off to some effed up crap. It is also true that when I walked in, he did have her in a very vulnerable position performing a humiliating act on her, so I see how that could have made her erupt in shame. Upon reflection, it may also be possible that seeing her in that compromised position added to my own anger in that moment as well. She was also feeling embarrassed on behalf of the guy, that she wasn't able to provide a safe place for him, and blamed me in the moment for embarrassing them both. This also fueled her defensiveness afterwards and her refusal to back down or concede anything. I'd made her feel like a tramp, apparently. She apologized unreservedly for not acknowledging my feelings on the night and for not apologizing straight away. She regrets the things she said during our big fight and that I was totally right to feel the way I did and that she was just feeling humiliated and cornered, but that she knows I must have felt even worse. I asked her if she loves him. Of course not, she says. They have great chemistry and she cares about him a lot, but they would never be compatible in real life and not once has she ever contemplated a future with him. It somehow upset her that I would think that. However, she confessed that she has known for over a year that he has been in love with her since at least before the pandemic. He tells her frequently but she never says it back. She said that it made their time together more intense and enjoyable, and since she knew she could never reciprocate his feelings, it wasn't a threat. She's made it clear to him plenty of times that a future between them wasn't on the cards. This part has been really difficult for me to process. She said they would stop that kind of talk going forward. I said not good enough, I want him out. She started crying and said she feared I would want that, but hoped I wouldn't. She asked if there's any way they might be able to continue. I said she could hang out with him all she wants but she'd be doing it as a single woman. She cried but she agreed to break things off. She asked if they can meet up one more time because they never got the chance to say bye. I agreed on the condition that they leave me out of it and that she makes it clear to him that will be the last time they ever even speak. Any further contact of any kind after that will be the end of us. I should also note that in our subsequent fight that night, at one point I did say something like, well, why don't you just F off to his place then, in a rhetorical way that you sometimes do in heated argument, and in a moment of pettiness, she said fine I will and packed a bag and went. She spent the first night with him out of spite, but they did not have S and she would not have stayed any further nights except he went away for work so she had his place to herself. Out of pride she was holding out and waiting for me to make contact before coming back, just as I was. We had to take around a half-hour break when I told her I had gone as far as making an appointment with an attorney for next week. She didn't handle that well at all and had a severe panic attack. She said she never imagined that would ever be on the cards, and that she would have come home days ago if she thought I was even remotely thinking about it. That she can't imagine life without me. Finally I asked her how I'm supposed to believe the things she's telling me or if she's full of crap. She said she promises she's being truthful and she's never broken a promise to me before, which is true. So I'm inclined to mostly believe her explanations, but there's still a lot of things I need to work through, process, ask about and convince myself of. We decided we would close the marriage for a couple of months to focus on our own relationship and then reassess. I've canceled my meeting with the lawyer and we're going to go to counseling. Any suggestions on how to find ENM-friendly therapists would be helpful. I never thought we'd ever be here, so I have no idea where to start looking. She offered to close her side unilaterally and let me keep seeing my partners, but this is about both of us. I'm not interested in having her punish herself for the sake of it. I still have to figure out if one, I really fully believe what she told me, and two, if I'm satisfied to continue. I'll take our time while we're close to make up my mind. It'll be tough, but I'm willing to at least try and work on it. I've been steeling myself for divorce all week, so that's the mindset I've been in, and I acknowledge that I owe it at least to the relationship we had to give it a hard try. Edit. A lot of you in the comments have been asking why I would ever allow one final date between them, especially a private one. Believe me, I've considered a lot of the same things that you've mentioned. Why would she even want to? Does she really not love him? It's only adding to the disrespect, etc. The main reason I'm agreeing to it is, counterintuitively, to give our marriage the best chance going forward. I don't want there to always be the chip in her head of I wish we had one last day, on top of whatever other resentment she might already feel from having to break up. I'm only doing this under the strict understanding that any more crap, or any more contact after this in any way whatsoever is an immediate guillotine to our marriage. No trial, no appeal, just summary execution right then and there. There's no way I could have made this more clear to her, so the balls is in her court. Underpinning my decision though, I have to admit that for the past week I've been painting myself a light shade of apathy. My mind has been so focused on the divorce process and life after marriage, that the prospect is less scary to me. Logically I should have been furious that she even asked to see him one last time, but honestly I just didn't care. If it helps you move on, go for it. It seems I'm the one more mentally prepared for divorce than you are, so if you want to blow it all up, go for it, I'm ready type of thing. I should also mention that I insisted we wait to close our marriage until after we've had a chance to be with our other partners as well. Don't know if that's good or bad, maybe it's bad, but not only does that give me a chance to meet with my FWBs one last time for God knows how long, she's not the only one with attachments to other people, but it also means that his memory is diluted. He won't be the last other guy she gets with before we hibernate. Maybe that's petty or counterproductive, but F him. They're meeting up tomorrow and she has made it clear to him that this will be the last time. If she wants to violate that pledge or any other, then I'm already 3 to 4 steps ahead on the other side, so I'm just not scared even if it backfires. Update 2. I didn't really plan to write another update, but a bunch of you have DM'd me asking about what's been happening, so maybe it's worth one. Firstly, we found an ENM-friendly therapist with some really good references, so we've gone to see her 4 times so far, which she said was a pretty intense schedule and that usually she recommends weekly or bi-weekly appointments, but that given the crisis we are in, we would benefit from more frequent sessions in the short term and saving our argument/fight/discussions for our sessions with her, so things don't get out of hand. We're officially closed now. We both saw who we needed to see and it's just the two of us. The therapist said 2 months was nowhere near long enough, so we've closed indefinitely for now, and we'll see down the line when we open back up. My wife's FWB didn't take their split well. He came to the house to talk to me and try and change my mind, but I wouldn't open the door to him. Ended up calling the cops after he started getting aggressive. He's out of the picture now, and the even better news is that he was too upset to even consummate that last meeting of theirs. His last memory of us with my wife is me busting in on him, and now he has to live with that. Our third therapy session was really brutal. She came clean about a bunch of stuff that really shocked me, maybe even more than the whole insult thing. She had been breaking ground rules pretty much left and right for the thrill of it, often in really specific and deliberate, and pretty hurtful ways. My trust in her is pretty much non-existent right now, and regardless of therapy I've given myself until the end of the year to begin feeling some trust in her again, otherwise I don't see much point going on. I'm struggling with bitterness due to the fact that trying to save my marriage means I'll likely lose other relationships with people special to me, and it could all be for no reason in the end. Right now it's just one step at a time. Not much more to do than fight through it, but I'm a fighter. P.S. None of you warned me how expensive therapy is, but you best believe it's coming out of the joint account. Little edit, hey folks, I know that obviously this is a really bad situation, and she's done a lot wrong. But I should explain a bit about why I'm willing to fight for it, and why I'd rather not see people denigrating her in these replies. Despite everything I've explained in these few posts, we're talking about a truly incredible woman. She's warm, she's loving, she's kind, she's so intelligent, she's fierce. She's always been the first to help whoever needs it, the last to leave when more still needs to be done. She takes care of her family, she's hilarious with a wicked sense of humor, she's adventurous, she loves life, she loves to laugh and she doesn't suffer fools. She's also incredibly gorgeous, I mean like actual magazine cover stunning, and if I can be a bit off color, she can F like Olympus thunder over the waves. She's been the love of my life, she's made some life-changing mistakes, but if there's any way to go back to what we had, I'm prepared to slog through pain to get there. Update 3, we tried our best but unfortunately, it has not worked out. I haven't been able to get past it. There is no trust there anymore. There's fondness, but I don't know if I can even call it love anymore. She's pretty devastated, which I don't take any pleasure in. At least I'm doing a pretty decent job of letting go of the anger. Therapy has helped a lot for that. Maybe if it was just our relationship impacted we might have been able to make it work, but it's had a ruinous effect on a number of other relationships as well, and an impact on my life beyond just my marriage. Among other things, she had sought out and slept with a couple of close friends and a work subordinate of mine. Those friendships, which I've had for decades, are now over, and that person at work has been let go. All of it is having knock-on effects on other parts of my personal and work life. It's not something I can get over. The separation and divorce will at least be amicable. We won't be battling it out in the courts. We've already agreed on a division of assets that we both agree is fair. Luckily neither of us has had to rely financially on the other while we've been together. I've decided that after the divorce is finalized, I'll have no more contact with her whatsoever. I need a clean break. One silver lining is that I've been able to meet back up with a couple of my partners from before and had a grand old time. I made the mistake of saying, genuinely and with no bad intention, that at least now she can meet back up with the other guy again. She didn't take that the way I meant it, and thought I was having a dig at her and we had a big fight, but then it smoothed over. In any event, it's on to the next adventure now. May enjoy single life for a while. I've still got a good chunk of my youth left and fortunately I still look like it. I'll take my wins whenever I can get them. I'm in mourning but also excited about what life has in store. One major thing is that she never wanted to be a parent, and I did before we got married. The prospect of fatherhood is open to me again and that's really life-affirming. Onward and upwards. Edit. For those of you commiserating over the fate of the former employee, especially those wondering about the legality of letting him go, I'm copy-pasting here a response to one of the comments on this thread. He knew us for quite a while. I've had the whole team over to my house for meals several times. We kept our private life private. He had no idea of any arrangement, nor did he even claim to have been told there was any open marriage. We all have a morality and team cohesion clause in our contracts. If your actions, in or out of work, damage your ability to work together with your team, especially if it's because of something you've done to a team member, whether or not it's at the office, then you are subject to a review and possible termination. It was not a unilateral dismissal. He had his hearing in front of a board and didn't pass. He was fired because his actions had a harmful effect on his colleague's personal life to the point where it was not possible to work cohesively together anymore. He has no legal grounds for a lawsuit. Hope that helps clear things up. Now on the next story. Story 2. Should I tell my girlfriend I'm dying before ending our relationship? I, 25 meters, found out I have an illness that will kill me. It'll take over my body and there's no cure. All the doctors can really do is prescribe shit to make you comfortable. I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years now and she's the absolute love of my life. Always loyal and there for me. I've been in and out of hospital many times over the course of our relationship. Mostly due to me racing dirt bikes. The most serious incident was a stab wound and I remember how scared and screamy she got even though I just needed stitches and got to go home the next day. This is not something where I can just go home the next day. I'm breaking up with her because she deserves to be happy with someone healthy who can give her the life she wants, and children. I'm scared she'll want to stay if I tell her what's going on. Part of me wants to lie and say I cheated so she hates me and leaves. We have lots of mutual friends, she'll find out eventually it was a lie and connect the dots on why I did it. But thinking about her crying from that lie breaks my heart. I don't even know if this is the right sub to post it on. I just don't know what to do. Break up with her and tell her it's for her own good? Lie? Guess I also needed to vent because it just hit me this morning. I found out last week but it just hit. I won't see 30. Edit. For people asking me what my diagnosis and prognosis is. It's pancreatic cancer. Something like 95% of people diagnosed with it die in about 3 years. I wasn't even paying attention for not putting that in the post at the beginning. That's my bad, but as you can tell I'm a little overwhelmed these days. First off, thank you to those saying kind things. Second, I realize how dumb I was being for wanting to lie to her. I made reservations at her favorite restaurant and I'll tell her afterwards. Part of me hopes she doesn't stay, but we'll see what she chooses. Proposing. I've thought about marrying her ever since I saw her. It's cliché and cheesy, but I immediately fell in love with her eyes. However, after getting this diagnosis I don't want to marry her. I can't let her be a widow this young. I'm already on the hunt for a ring which she'll receive with a note and a gift from me after I'm done. I don't want to marry her anymore, but she'll know she's my one and only forever. Sorry for being cheesy or corny, but at this point I'd about any of that. I'm dying lol. Symptoms, for those of you who might want to get tested. Went to the doctors for a checkup because I was losing a weight despite my history of gaining/maintaining my weight. I work out 6 days a week, and while I'm no pro athlete I'm by no means out of shape. Doctor blamed it on stress from work, which is true, my job is stressful, and said I can follow up with a specialist if I want medication for the stress. Went on with my life best I could but kept losing weight and everyone got worried. Went back to the doctors and they ordered blood work. Got the results which obviously were not good and got sent to a specialist. While everyone thought the stressful job was the true reason, I was getting tested and scanned at the hospital where they, and I, realized I have slight jaundice. They then asked what my crap was like and I thought ABT it and told them. Apparently your poop tells you a lot more than just general health. Tests and scans showed I have a growth. Blah blah blah, you're now caught up to where I was told I have cancer and now we're here. Update 1, I told my girlfriend I'm dying. Took her to dinner at our favorite date spot, had some amazing food and some drinks like always. The date continued like normal, we drove down to the beach and started walking till we got to our spot. She spoke first and said that she could tell there's something I want to say because I have that look on my face. She then made a joke about how it's too soon for us to get engaged, so if there's a ring in my pocket it better say there. This made it so much harder. She thought there was a ring in my pocket when I'm about to tell her there never will be. Absolutely broke my heart. I told her she's right, there's something I want to say, and I told her everything. From how I found out to what the diagnosis means to the prognosis. I made sure to not sugarcoat it or leave anything out. She deserved to know everything. For the next hour it was a mixture of asking me if I'm sure and how could this be possible and crying. She immediately said she's going to stay by me and I don't need to worry about anything. I told her she needs to take a few days to think about it. I had already arranged for her best friend to be waiting in the other parking lot to take her to her house. I went home alone. Before anyone calls me names for not driving her home, I didn't want her to be alone after finding out, but I also didn't want her to see my cry. If she saw me tonight she'd get more scared. It would hit her that I'm terrified and she'd lose her shit. I got an update that she fell asleep because she cried so much. I sent an Uber Eats of her favorite dessert to her friend's house so it'll be there when she wakes up. As soon as I'm done typing this I'm meeting up with my 3 closest friends to hang out. I've known 2 of them for 20 years and the other one for 18. We're very close and share too many TMI details. If anyone has suggestions on how to break the news of this to them I'd greatly appreciate it. In the meantime I'll be drinking for 2, me and this Basti cancer. Edit, thank you for the kind words. Couple things to add. I'm in Canada so I have free healthcare, I'm not worried about the cost of fighting this. I still haven't seen my girl as she's still at her friend's house. She'll text me to ask how I'm feeling and gets mad when I say I'm fine or make a joke. Telling others. Couple things you need to know about my friends. 2 of them are in medical school and the other in law school. They're still idiots though. I started off by asking one of them to make a cancer joke, ending it quickly with too soon man too soon, and that's how my best friends found out I have cancer. Medical school friends started telling me about new drugs and treatments while my law school buddy demanded to see my medical directives form, and that's also how they found out I've been an organ donor for years. Parents, still don't know. Sister, can't even pretend to have a clue on how to tell her, I still see her as my baby sister so it's tough lol. Boss, asked for a one-on-one this morning and told him my diagnosis. He said he'll help me abuse the company's benefits as much as I want. I told him all I really want is to show up to work like nothing's wrong and no one find out until I pass out at work. He agreed. My daily is a 2022 R1, blue crotch rocket for you non-motorcycle folks. I love that bike and have been asked if I'll stop riding due to this. Short answer is hell no. I've known I had something bad inside of me way before getting cancer. Life goes on and so will I. Update 2, she made her decision but went back on it. For those who don't know me, I'm 25, diagnosed with terminal illness. I gave my girl an out if she wanted it. You can read my posts for a better understanding. Sorry for being MIA, it's been kind of crazy. My girlfriend made the decision to not stay. She said she doesn't think she can handle it and doesn't want me to have to take care of her when it should be the other way around. I said I understand and will always love her. Paraphrasing here, but that's the gist of it. Yesterday she called me and said she's thought about it and wants to stay. She brought up all the other crap we've gotten over and how we always end up stronger. She wants to talk about getting married and kids, while I still can. When I asked what made her change her mind, she said she'll tell me after I answer, no matter what I answer. This made me uncomfortable because she changed her mind. I told her I need time to think, but once again I'm back to you lovely people to ask, what the heck do I do? Am I overthinking this? While I'm here I'll tell y'all what happened with others. Family, told them while I was at my parents' for dinner. I brought my scans and test results and just explained it using facts not feelings. I did this because my parents both hold PhDs and are university professors. I thought they'd accept it easier with evidence rather than feelings. Seeing my sister cry shattered my heart into a million pieces. I just hugged her and said it'll be okay because now she knows she'll get my car soon. She laughed a little and for some messed up reason that made everything okay to me. Friends, the 3 dum-dums I call my best friends helped me tell some other close friends. They're being supportive and nice. I told them to cut it out and go back to roasting each other. They listened and we're good now. I've also told my work besties because they deserve to know. Update 3, disappointing. First off, to people who commented and messaged sorry for being MIA, I've been trying to get through them. Thank you to everyone who said kind things. A lot has happened since my last update. My girl said she would tell me why she changed her mind after I gave her an answer. I told her I wouldn't give an answer till I knew what changed her mind, and boy was I not ready for the answer. A lot of y'all thought she would tell me she's pregnant. Nope. She didn't want me to die without knowing her biggest secret, but only wanted to tell me if I stayed with her. Are y'all ready? She cheated on me while I was in the hospital from a motorcycle accident. I still don't get how this made her change her mind, but it's the only explanation I got from her. He just happened to be comforting her and made a move. She just happened to be emotionally vulnerable. Because it always just happens, right? I thought I'd want to scream or shout out at her, but all that came out was a big old goofy smile and laugh. That pissed her off, but I'm sorry, this is hilarious. I'm dying and she wants sympathy from me. I never asked her to stay. I never asked her to take care of me. Not now, not back when I got in my accident. I got up and left. She's been texting and calling nonstop, sent every single one to voicemail. Her friends are calling me in a hole for leaving her like that. Screw what they say. They all knew and didn't tell me. Update for the rest of what's going on with me. I drink a lot. Like too much a lot. I know it's bad, but it makes everything feel normal. The world when I'm drinking is just so much better than when I'm sober. I'm thinking of doing chemo, but if there's a point. I took a look at my finances and turns out I have a tidy sum over here. I'm not going to blow it on hookers and blow or a year-long trip. I'm just going to work and spend it how I want. Whatever's left is going to be split amongst my friends because my family doesn't need it. And yes, I already cleared it with them, they have no problem with it. Family is confused why I'm goofing around, but I think they're starting to get it. Saw my mom smile for the first time since I told her the other day and almost cried, ha.